Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Did you get some rain yesterday? Because the airport picked up 0.17 inches of rain on Tuesday, and that's how much rain we had. It wasn't all that much, but some of it came down in buckets. We had some severe storms that were not anticipated, even from our partners at the Storm Prediction Center. But you can see a little bit of ground clutter on the Ultimate Doppler radar, presented by A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. Customers always first, 5-star reputation, A+, Better Business Bureau accreditation, and focused on customer service. You gotta love A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. They have been family owned and operated since 1982. Kind of interesting to know too. We are about 7.5 weeks away. I know it's a long time, but 7.5 weeks away from before changing the clocks. And we always like to say, make sure you check your smoke detector. And do you have a carbon monoxide detector? One thing I've learned, and was very impressed with A1 Fincham, is that if you have a carbon monoxide detector, sometimes they can go off intermittently, beep, and maybe it's kind of like, that's kind of annoying. Now, obviously, if it's rapidly beeping, you might need to call a 911 situation. But if it's just intermittently beeping, the carbon monoxide detector, folks at A1 Fincham will come out to your house just to check and make sure everything is A-OK. I love the fact that they are dedicated to detail. They are technicians that are all NATE or NATE certified, and they are prepared to get the job done right the first time. Gotta love A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. It was actually founded by James Fincham back in 1982. That was a special year in Knoxville with the World's Fair, as we know. But check them out, 865-947-4267. They are my sponsor for this weather segment. A1fincham.com also has some great details, and they have a cool monthly maintenance plan. I'm going to talk more about this down the road because, when we talk about winter, we talk about the cold air that we had last December. Nothing's worse than worrying about your heat during the winter season. They'll come out once before winter, once before summer, just to make sure everything's okay, and think about all the preventative things we do for our car. It may be a good idea to consider a monthly maintenance program and have them come out. Make sure that that your equipment is working well this upcoming winter. By the way, the radar is still showing some light rain, maybe sprinkles around parts of Georgia. Not a lot, maybe down towards, say, Athens, Georgia. More rain stretching from Mississippi into parts of Arkansas. That's going to stay primarily to the south. It wouldn't surprise me if we see some developing drizzle, some spots of rain. Outside of that, temperatures today should reach the lower 80s. Some of you in the plateau will not get out of the 70s today. It will be one of those cool afternoons relative to the season. If you look at the bigger picture, we've got more rain across parts of the Lone Star State, around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and also some activity just around the Florida area. But it's interesting, too, because we are still running a little short on rainfall for the last 30 days. This represents the deficit that may exist where you live, in your county, in your town. Knoxville, some green areas, maybe closer to an inch below where we might consider being for this time of the month. But when you look at the overall year, we're still over an inch above normal for the calendar year. But again, if it comes too fast, too furiously, the rain may not have as much benefit in that regard. You look around the state, there are some drier areas around Middle Tennessee and maybe even to parts near Memphis and Jackson as far as the deficit. Now, as far as our visibility, not the best if you're in Jonesville, Morristown, or perhaps into Hancock County. I'm talking Kyles Ford. We have some visibility issues perhaps around Sneedville, maybe around Rogersville, maybe less than a mile. 2 miles in Morristown, 5 miles at McGee-Tyson, and Madisonville checking in at 1 mile, Greenville at 0. So there's going to be some patches of fog, but it may not be what everyone experiences this morning. Temperatures around the state are in the 60s, but when you wake up tomorrow morning, many, if not most of all of us in East Tennessee will start off the day in the 50s. Can you imagine that? How different that'll be. Like Paducah's 57. Don't be surprised if we're in the upper 50s to start this time tomorrow morning. And temperatures right now are at 66 in Knoxville, 66 in Oak Ridge. If you're on the call, I want to say hi to you. It is 6:44. I'm going to talk about, not only Tennessee Valley Fair, but I want to talk about the Vols game down in Gainesville. If you're on the call, I'm doing both. I'm on Facebook, yay, and I'm also on YouTube. So if you have a comment, let me know. I've seen Danny Feedback says, good morning, David. Hope you have a wonderful day. Go Vols. Hashtag Go Big Orange. I've got that forecast for you, Danny. James Jones says, good morning from Oneida. James, are you dealing with some fog? Let me know. I'd love to interact with you this morning. Good morning to Hallie Gibson. She says, good morning. She's one of my Facebook premium members. Happy to see Hallie. I met with her in Kingston when we did a spotlight many months ago now. Wanda says, good morning. Nice, cool morning. So if you're on Facebook, let me know. I can switch tabs and you might see, hey, maybe if you're not on YouTube, let me know. Leave me my first comment on YouTube this morning as we continue to expand our reach. Temperature, 63 Wartburg, 62 Crossville in Cumberland County this morning. Yeah, it's a little, let's say, normal, right? The normal low for this time of year is actually 62. Now, I mentioned on the Tennessee Valley Fair, which obviously started last weekend, it continues right through this week, but if I were to pick 2 days, today's not bad. If you're going to the Tennessee Valley Fair, there's never a bad day at the fair. But Thursday and Friday, I would label as a slice of nice. Fireworks take place at 10:30. It's a daily occurrence, but you'll have a lot of fun if you're going there for some funnel cakes, some popcorn, peanuts, and all the rest with the family. Now, if we get down to the swamp transition here, 7 o'clock Saturday, it's on ESPN. And as Danny was talking about Go Vols, I say Go Big Orange. We're 2-0 and now ranked number 11. The Gators are 1-1. And the Ben Hill Griffin Stadium should be partly cloudy when this game starts. Should ease from the lower 80s for kickoff to the lower 70s by the end of the game. So about 73 to finish. And the sun will be setting about 35 minutes after the game starts. So the game begins at 7 on ESPN. But if there's some sunny seats, it'll get pretty dark pretty quickly as the sun will be setting. Down there at 7:35. Dew point temperatures right now are in the mid-60s. Now imagine if these numbers could drop another 5 to 7 degrees, maybe 8 in some cases. You said, well, that'd be awesome. I mean, Jacksboro showing up low 60s. So again, we're talking about some less humid air. Feeling very good. And I didn't mention here, I should come back on camera, I have my Gator Hater Week, so we can't leave that out, Danny. Danny, I hope you have a gator that you could maybe punch around, or maybe you're going to eat some alligator meat this week if that's what you're doing. Let me know. Kind of curious on the comments. So let me know on Facebook, let me know on YouTube as this morning continues to roll on. Dew points are in the mid-60s. The big drop in humidity will continue this afternoon. And here's some more evidence of that. Now you can see where we see green was the stuffy air. That's the higher dew points. It may ebb and flow today. Look at noon, it tries to come back. So it may not drop that much in the next 4 or 5 hours. But by the time we move into the afternoon, where's it go? It moves back toward Georgia. The real green ooze starts to move toward Atlanta by 11 o'clock tonight. And there's really just no talk, I would say very little chatter about humidity by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is that slice of nice, the day that many of you have been looking forward to probably all week. And some of you will say, I wish all of summer were this nice. We've only had 18 days. That's it. 18 days at 90 or higher. And tomorrow we'll be lucky to get to 81. Again, most of us will be in the 70s all day tomorrow. But it really looks nice and comfortable. The green ooze, as it oozes away, looks good on Friday. It's well to the south. But then it tries to make a playback as we head into perhaps Saturday. If you follow the humidity, you could also follow where some of that rain could come in. I have some rain coming in from the south and west. On Saturday, that would be Huntsville, possibly into Middle Tennessee, but I don't have it affecting the Bristol night race. So the night race should be fine. I think the wet weather for Saturday, 40% chance will be Knoxville, southwest. So we're talking the Southern Valley, talking down toward Chattanooga, back toward Huntsville. So if you're making plans for Bristol, I don't expect an umbrella or rain gear to necessarily be an issue. Now Sunday, different story. Humidity does race back on Sunday, and we'll talk about that here in the 7-day forecast. It is 6:48 if you're on. Oh, I got 2 people now on YouTube. It's just, I mean, we've doubled. This is good stuff. So if you're on YouTube, let me know. I'd like to know if that's your platform of choice. Darcy's here on Facebook. She says, patchy fog and cool, happy hump day. Glad to have Darcy here. We had some good time in Oak Ridge a couple of weeks ago, so it was kind of fun to be able to meet with some of our premium members. Carrie says good morning. She's got her sunshine and her cup of coffee. And Hallie's saying good morning. So glad to have you all here. It's kind of nice, right, to be able to know that we're going to have a beautiful day today outside of some spots of rain or drizzle. And that may be confined to the Smokies or perhaps the Plateau. Not much of a wind. We have 3 miles an hour. But here are my expectations for your Wednesday afternoon. Are you ready for this? 82 degrees. 81 in Oak Ridge, 82 in Maryville, 78 in Sevierville, and 75 Crossville. So there's a big difference. I mean, Crossville's going to be, what, 7 degrees cooler than Knoxville. Now, will that make any headlines? Probably not. If this were winter and they were going to be 7 degrees cooler, colder in winter, some would say, hey, why do they get all the snow? Did you not notice in the middle of September they were a lot cooler? No, I didn't notice that. Well, sometimes the elevation, in this case, can play a big role. And only mid-70s for Oneida and Jamestown. My expectations today, notice the clouds, they're kind of maybe thin in some areas, maybe non-existent in others, where fog may be taking hold, but we'll look for a mix of sun and clouds with some cumulus clouds that develop during the course of your afternoon. It is 6:50 in the morning. I'm going to be done here in 10 minutes or less. I got some good news to share with you. Sun will be coming up just a few minutes after I am done. 7:17 is when the sun comes up this morning. We'll give it a thumbs up. Sunglasses, a good idea, no doubt. Sun sets at 7:46, so our days are getting shorter. In fact, that's 2 minutes less than it was yesterday. Yesterday went down to 7:48. Now it's 7:46, so it's probably going to get really close to saying, you know what, it's getting dark too soon for my taste. Some of you love the shorter days. Some really love summer, at least the way summer looks. May not always enjoy the humidity and how it feels. Bus stop forecast, we're starting off in the mid-60s. That 66 is representative of McGee-Tyson right now. By 10 o'clock, should be in the upper 60s. There might be recess for the little ones. Maybe teachers make plans. But by 2 o'clock, the pickup temperature should be in the upper 70s with a mix of sunny clouds, and any spots of rain probably will occur before 2 or 3 p.m. today. Now, will we have some smoke? Actually, this is a smoke-free day, or at least the way the modeling is suggesting it, because we know from earlier this summer that wildfire smoke can pervade in some areas, and there's some plumes, it looks like south of Tupelo, but this is all suggested that any smoke that may occur around our region is well out of harm's way, so we've got a smoke-free day. Let's talk about the hurricane season. As we know, we're getting past maybe the peak, which is actually September 10th. We're about 3 days past the historical peak, but it doesn't mean that the hurricane season just stops. It just may mean that the number of storms starts to decrease, and that's what we've seen. One disturbance left on this map. Margot's been on the board for a while as a hurricane moving north, not a problem. Lee is going to be working its way toward Maine, possibly brushing by Massachusetts, but definitely a bigger concern might be Nova Scotia for Lee, which we'll track here in a moment. But the little disturbance you see here, and this is the latest map that comes from the National Hurricane Center. Their next update will be 8 o'clock this morning. They have a 70% chance that a next storm, which would be assigned the name Nigel, could form there in the middle of the Atlantic, so we'll keep an eye on potential Nigel. Let's get to Lee here. As you can see now, it looks like it's getting like a bigger storm. The bands and clouds extending well from its center of circulation in the eye there. Margot's on the upper right of your screen. She's moving away. Hardly worth mentioning, but the fact that we've had more hurricanes here in the middle of September is not that unusual. The wave heights, well, boy, they're pretty high, right? Estimated to be 36 feet around the center of this storm. 33 feet. That's some pretty big waves. That's surfs up. And this is why many cruise ships, I'm sure, take note of the weather each and every day. They know to go around these types of storms or just avoid going out altogether, which probably makes good sense, right? They're very well aware that there's a hurricane out there. And Lee is likely to continue on this path, as you can see here, heading up with each of these little tropical lines. We don't use this in wintertime. We don't use this during the day. But these are tropical models that even show a little zigzag into New Hampshire. So it's not clear-cut. And because the fact that the wave heights are getting higher, the wind field is getting wider, it's probably going to you throw enough mud on the wall, you're going to feel a little bit of the effects. And New England is definitely going to feel the impact of this Saturday night and into Sunday. That's my expectation. But let me bring you up to speed. Winds are still 115. This is a Category 3 storm. Category 3 storm at this moment, but it's likely to become a Category 2 in a few hours. Because by 1 o'clock, the Hurricane Center estimates it's down to 110. I mean, that's what difference of what's 1 mile per hour among friends. But it stays on that weakening path. By 1 o'clock in the morning Thursday, it's 105. By 1 o'clock Friday morning, it's down to 90. We're down to a Cat 1. And by 2 o'clock in the morning, even though the winds are stretching out, this is a big storm, right? It's going to have some effects. The winds are not as gnarly, they're not as nasty as they were last Thursday night and Friday when it was a Category 5. So a lot of talk about a storm, a lot of hype that might have been put out about Lee, but when it makes landfall, it may very well just be strong, maybe minimal hurricane. Nobody likes those terms. Minimal. That's like, say, a minimal tornado. Still can rip off some damage, some roofs, some trees. But look where this takes it. That's a lot of real estate. That really covers areas of parts of Massachusetts on the left side and Halifax on the right side. That's a big set of uprights. But as it makes landfall, could very well be around 75 miles per hour. And then weakening over land with 60 miles an hour. So that's where Lee is projected by the Hurricane Center. And of course, they will fine-tune this every couple of hours. So we'll have updates for you as we move forward in time. It is 6:54. Just want to show you graphically how some of the data today takes us closer to New England. Looks like it's a square hit right through Maine if this were to verify. but not all the models suggest that. We'll keep an eye on that, but it could very well back into Maine and cause some damage. A lot of power outages, rip currents, beach erosion, you name it. They're going to have high surf, no doubt. Watching the tropics, we had mentioned Nigel is the next name on the list, and you can see that Ophelia and Philippe would be the follow-up names there by Rena and Sean and Tammy. If we get that far, all things are possible. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's free. The address, youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate if you're on the call. But let's say hi. I see Ed, good morning. Any fall color outlooks coming? Very soon. Usually we think mid to late September, but yeah, we'll start to see some color. I saw some trees the other day. I mean, they were a standalone, but like one tree was like doing its own thing. That's often common. But Ed's mentioning about fall color, a good suggestion. We'll be talking about that. And I've got 5 people now. Ooh, maybe a chat. Maybe someone leave me a comment. Be the first as we're talking about YouTube. I'm now up to about 1,000 subscribers. Very happy to have that as we continue to grow YouTube, as there are others that prefer different platforms. I hope to be able to serve you any way I can. Spots of rain possible today. If you're just joining me, I'll be down about 4 minutes. Slice of nice tomorrow and Friday. But sadly, more rain chances are possible this weekend. I expect best chance of rain will be Knoxville southwest on Saturday. 66 degrees is our temperature right now with a north wind at 3 miles per hour. We've got next 7 days, 20% or less today. I really think your best chance of rain will be Sunday, but there will be some opportunities on Saturday, no doubt. And here's the Valley Planner. An average high now is 84. Expect highs around 82 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds, maybe some drizzle here or there. Wouldn't surprise me, but that's really not much more than we can expect here on a Wednesday. If I haven't mentioned to you, A1 Fincham, brought to you, my weather report, brought to you by A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. The customer is always first, focused on customer satisfaction. They won't quit until you're happy. All technicians are NATE or NATE certified, and they're prepared to get the job done right the first time. They also guarantee their work. Check out A1 Fincham's monthly maintenance plan. This is phenomenal because, again, you get 2 visits, one before winter, one right before summer, just to make sure everything is in good working order. Nothing worse than a hot summer day and your air conditioning isn't working properly, and nothing's worse than what we had last December when temperatures plummeted into single digits, and then there's, that fear, will my heating, will my gas, my furnace, will hold up? And these are the types of things that are addressed all the time from A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling, because one of the cool things, they've been around since 1982. They also have some great plans, I should mention, should family owned and operated since 1982. Their website, a1fincham.com. I want to point out that they do have some discounts for seniors and for veterans. Ooh, now you got my attention. 12 months special financing for approved credit, and of course, multiple flexible financing plans. But again, very reasonable, especially when you divide it up by 12 months. The upfront pricing. A1 Finch have been around for quite some time. I would encourage you to call them at 865-947-4267. Let me get back to the Storm Prediction Center maps. As you can see here, we've got some issues maybe in parts of the country in dark green. That would be this deep southwest, parts of maybe Phoenix, parts of West Texas, and into southern parts of New Mexico. Could find some isolated severe storms between Tybee Island, Myrtle Beach, Wrightsville Beach. Nothing here. And maybe some hot spots for some isolated severe storms today around the Big Apple and Providence, Rhode Island. Nothing going on here. Thursday looks delightful. Maybe some general thunderstorms in green across parts of the country, just not here in East Tennessee. It's a dry day tomorrow, looking oh so nice. And then Friday, some hot spots may be found in around Texas, New Mexico, maybe a few areas you can see near Lubbock. They could have some isolated severe storms, but nothing going on here in Knoxville. Let me get to the future cast. Not a whole lot to see. There could be some showers between Chattanooga and Atlanta through the morning hours. And if we get some spots of rain, you can see a little bit of green there. Some drizzle may suddenly appear before 3 p.m. And then it's gone, moves bound toward Atlanta. High pressure takes over. We'll find a nice cool night tonight. I'd say an even cooler night, Thursday night and Friday, with temperatures by then could be around 54 in Knoxville. That seems unheard of. And I think all of this is model noise. This will be setting up for some showers south and west on Saturday as a front stays back toward Kansas City and up towards, say, Chicago, north and west of Chicago. Here's the Futurecast here at 6:59. Notice how quickly we warm up to the mid-70s by noontime today. Some of you will struggle in the plateau to get out of the 70s, but I expect a high around 82 today. That's not bad. Some mix of sun and clouds. I'd say pretty pleasant. Tonight we're going to be cooling down into the lower 50s for Crossville, lower 50s for Oneida, and lower 50s for Jamestown. Heading into noon tomorrow, we're in the 70s and should finish tomorrow about 81. So really, the difference between temperature today and tomorrow might be a degree or two, not a big difference from afternoon to afternoon. It is 7 o'clock. Here's your forecast. 82 degrees, mix of sun and clouds, spotty rain and drizzle possible. Looking for winds out of the northeast, about 3 to 8, north-northeast 3 to 8. High of 81 in Oak Ridge, 77 La Follette, Wartburg, 81 in Morristown. If you're traveling today, Charlotte, 84. Atlanta, some showers and storms at 86. And as we slide into tonight, low of 58, that's pretty nice. Scattered clouds, I'd say it's comfortable, especially when you keep that north-northeast wind moving. But if you want some low 50s, I mean, another 7-degree difference between Oneida, where James Jones was, and 58 Knoxville. So look at these numbers. I mean, there's a big difference. That's like, well, which is it, upper 50s or low 50s? Yes, exactly. It's both, right? It depends on where you are and what time you're up tomorrow morning. If you sleep into, I don't know, 7 or 8, you might miss it. If you're up at 5 or 6, you might find that cool air, almost crisp air. Middlesboro down about 52 degrees. That's my low expectation for tonight. Here we are with the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 81 on Thursday. Cool sunshine. 83 on Friday and Saturday, but the showers and storms come on Saturday from the south and west. I can't emphasize that enough. So Chattanooga, better chance for some rain. Lesser chances if you're in Morristown or, say, Sneedville. Northeast, and certainly Bristol, I think will be fine as far as dry weather. Sunday, 60% chance we're all fair game for showers. And it might really advance Saturday night about the time that a hurricane approaches parts of New England. 54 is circled there simply because that's our lowest point on my temperature map, but we come close to it Monday night, Tuesday, when we're down to about 55 degrees. I want to say good morning to you. I finished on time. It's now 7:01. If you have a comment, Leah, let me know. I've got 5 people on YouTube. Maybe you leave me a comment. Marilyn Bell says have a great Wednesday here on Facebook. Foggy here outside White Pine. Thank you for that update. We're still making note of those the fogs. How many fogs did you have during the month of August? Because there's a lot of expectation that the more fogs you get in August, last month, could have some translation to upcoming winter events. We'll see. I'd love to know how yours might compare to McGee Tyson. Wanda says, glad no bad weather for Florida because the Vols are coming to play some football. Let's hope, she says. Let's whip some Gators. Go Vols. And Lana Johnson says she does have heavy fog in Kodak. Good morning. Have a great day. Thank you, Lana, for that update. Mary Morgan saying good morning as well. So very thankful for you all. Make sure you take note that we will be still dealing with ragweed today. That's all. But the future smoke, not an issue today. That's always a bonus. I want to say a special thanks to my sponsor, A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. Give them a call at 865-947-4267. Family owned and operated since 1982. Check them out at a1fincham.com. Have a great day.